Hey Skyfarers, and welcome to Aethercast, the Kharadron Overlords channel and podcast, where today we're talking about all the new rules for Scourge of Ghyran for Kharadron Overlords, and some of the other stuff that's sort of generic to all armies as well. Joining me for tonight's show, we have Dwarden Prime.
Who is he?
I don't think for a second it's like, which one am I going to do first? Mr. Max Bowman. Welcome, Max.
Hello, everyone.
And we have our Thunderer from not all the time down under, Mr. Alexander Krohn.
Hello, I'm back. I've been doing trips.
You have been doing trips. We're going to talk about your trips in a minute. So we've got a fun show. Going to talk mostly about new rules care, which is always fun. But there's some other little bits of news and stuff to talk about. And some stuff that Quan's been up to. Before we do, say hi to anyone watching the chat. We've got Jungle Camper. Hi to you. If anyone else is watching, say hi. Cool. So the news. Most of the show is the news. But there's some other news. There is some Dwarden narrative stuff happening in White Dwarf. Involving Grumbrindle and another character whose name I temporarily forget. What was his
Clearly
name?
very important.
Is this like another Grumbrindle story, like all the ones that built up 2 years ago in White Dwarf, and then we got an anniversary model?
Yes, although
it's Lee's tinfoil hat corner.
Yeah.
True.
Why can't I find his name?
It's very disappointing. I mean, the model is great, but the rules were non-existent.
Albarak. That's it. That's the other person. So that's cool. Basically, I think the new series is focused on Albarak himself, and then Grumbrindle is just there to start him on his journey. And so there are going to be 6 stories about him. And Grumbrindle's in the first, but spoiler alert. Just going to pause for a second for anyone that does want to jump ahead. Grumbrindle at the end of the story gives him some like magic powers. So maybe
magic doesn't sound very Dwarden.
Well, imbues a stone horn with some magic so he can make a weapon with it, and maybe makes him into a bit of a god. I don't know. But maybe this is my tinfoil hat. Maybe Albarak is going to be like a playable model for either Cities of Sigmar or like when we do eventually get a Dwarden faction like new release.
But what is he? A normal dispossessed? Or
yeah, he's like a dispossessed guy, and he was already a good fighter, and then he meets Grumbrindle and gets imbued with some magical powers.
Yeah, I bet he'll be like a unique character for the old world.
He could be come out like a black library character, like Trekkie Flint did.
Yeah, but it's not set in the old world. It is set in AOS.
But all the dispossessed are going to the old world.
So. Well, yeah, but maybe like not dispossessed. Do you know what I mean? Like, there were rumors years ago of like a Dwarden faction led by Grumbrindle, and there's some stuff in the AOS lore, but maybe because they won't give us like Grumbrindle and Grungy, we'll get like characters like Albarak. Just like you don't get Sigmar, you get like Celestin Prime and stuff.
Maybe a named dwarf hero, yeah.
Yeah.
Kale, we have a few, but Fire Slayers, they had one, now they have none. And Dispossessed have none.
I love how Fire Slayers, as their new unit, got another character as their...
but it was a disappointment. It was not a foot hero. I expected a duplicate Warscroll for 2-foot heroes. It's fine.
You're right, Fire Slayers, that's what Fire Slayers need.
Fire Slayer update that's what it is. It's fine. It's okay. Doesn't help them, but it's fine.
Is there any other news we want to talk about before we move on?
I mean, part of the slides will be news. So yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so the bits that aren't the main show. Cool. So let's move on and talk about some stuff Krohn has been up to recently. We'll get
they let him out
very quickly. Krohn went on a Brock Grunson style grand tour where he went to Germany.
Hey,
He got his Gunhauler,
so
flew high,
and landed in Munich and surrounds. Well, went to Germany, Austria to visit family, and decided to give Max a visit at his club. Who was very nice and let me borrow his KO.
Yeah.
And so we played a game.
Yeah, and we don't need to talk about that.
But your guess is in the chat now who won.
Yeah, my army won.
The KO won. And Max's KO won, and Max's Feck did not. So I used the Thunderclad, the Horizon Stalkers, 30 Thunderers and an Ironclad against some lots and lots of Morbeg Knights, I remember. And yeah, over took all 5 turns and winning every single priority roll on my part. But I managed to, pick them apart and slowly shoot down that whole force.
Yep. Was great having you over for the 3rd time now, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a little bit of a tradition now. So currently, Alex is leading 2-1 in our matches.
2-1. I was about to ask if it's been 3 games.
True.
What's the score?
I won the first time. Max stomped me the second time. And I pulled it out this time.
Yeah.
Have you played KO every time, Krohn? Or have you let Max play KO? I remember a time with Gargants. Who played Gargants?
No, you played KO the first time when I played Cities of Sigmar. Then you played... Did you play KO versus my Goblins? Yeah. And every time you played KO every time.
Wasn't there a game with Mega Gargants?
What?
I'm sure you had a game with Mega Gargants. I think there's a video of it. I think you even recorded it as a battle report and put it on the channel.
We recorded the cities one. That's on the channel as a battle report.
Yeah, that was the what was it called? Living City with a lot of crossbowmen and stormdrakes and back in the days, the second. What was it? Second edition.
I think. Second edition.
Third edition.
Okay.
2022.
It was a while ago. Yeah, I mean, Max has an amazing clubhouse, and apparently they're moving into an even bigger clubhouse. So I'm very keen to see how that looks next time I'm there.
Yeah, we're bordering 120 members, so we need more space.
Just every club night is a tournament.
We can have 12-man tournaments, but we only have 6 tables, so we need more space.
Yeah.
Now we actually need to use an app to sort out who's playing when. It's a bit annoying. Yeah.
Cool. But Germany was not the only place that Krohn went.
No,
Krohn.
I took a couple of days at the end of visiting family, just for me, and visited Warhammer World, which and guess who was there? It was Lee.
Yeah,
drove all the way up
as well. Yeah,
I again borrowed Lee's KO, and Lee borrowed, I think, one of his friends' Stormcast.
Yeah. Someone's very kind to lend me that.
And I did not win this game. The KO did not take the day here. I think Stormcast lost maybe a single unit in all of that.
Yes. Oh no,
Did
actually, I don't think I lost a unit.
Well, we didn't even get that far.
You got like one of the units down to one model, I think. No, I very kindly tailored the list a little bit to be really good against KO, and dropped a bunch of stuff behind him to make it very difficult for him to use redeploy shenanigans. Stuff that dropped 9 inches away and then moved D3, and I was very lucky, and most of them moved free. And
they did,
yeah,
and just kind of blocked the KO in, and
yeah, well,
that's all you need.
12 balloon boys and 10 thunderers in turn 1. Plus, was it like 18 Arcanauts as well?
A lot of Arcanauts.
In turn 1 as well. So yeah, that was hard for you to sort of you played well still after that, trying to get some points and keep yourself in the game, but with losing pretty much all of your big damage dealers, it's not easy to play.
Not ideal.
No. But Stormcasts are good. It turns out.
Yeah, they are.
But in this game, it's much easier when you use the better armies.
Yeah, and you can make the viewers, they can take a guess how expensive Warhammer is in Australia, seeing that Krohn only owns one shirt.
Yeah,
who's wearing his club shirt?
Look, you gotta make sacrifices where you can.
So actually, it's also part of our tradition that when Krohn comes over, we go shopping at our local
Krohn did some shopping
Warhammer store, and he went a bit bananas.
Did he buy a model?
He needed an extra luggage.
When I left, he was buying a model that was over £500 for one model.
Then that's only because they didn't have any of the bigger ones. They didn't have a Warlord Titan. I wanted one of those.
Wow.
But now Warlord Titan's out, Sokar's out, Nemesis Titans are out. I've got a Thunderhawk. Small though.
That's cool.
It's not really a miniature because it's like...
Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge. I'm moving the wrong hand. Here we go. It's big.
Hang on.
Already assembled.
This is where we find out he's got to go like downstairs and dive into the cover to get it. He's going to be gone for 10 minutes.
For those listening, Alex disappeared and we don't know where he went. There he is.
It's KO. It flies high. It's just...
Oh, wow. Already assembled.
Kind of. I've been trying to pin it. But all I've gotten from that so far is a broken drill, half a drill bit inside the Thunderhawk. So
what?
Oh dear.
That's
the pin. That's the pin. It's a screw-on pin.
That's the pin. So I'll see what I can do with that. But yeah, it's pretty. It flies high. It's KO. It's basically a KO ship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
It's an ironclad on steroids.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, it was great.
So
Warhammer World was great.
So Lee, when are we flying down to Australia?
Yeah, that's the next bit.
I haven't even made it to Germany yet, so
come over. Come in March. Adelaide's fun in March. We have shows and stuff on at March.
Okay.
It's not cold.
What I want to know is if Krohn beat you and I beat Krohn, does that mean I'm also better than Max?
Absolutely.
That does mean that the Admiral Lee is the best player here, and unfortunately, multiple worlds competitor Max is just not up to it really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another thing that happened. Warhammer Worlds, Warhammer Worlds, AOS Worlds happened, and I took KO to the singles event, and that was fun. And after that, I put him back into the display.
You did okay for KO.
I did okay. Yeah, I went 3-2 with a lot of balloons and frigates and Brock, and it was fun. I had 5 very good games with fantastic opponents. It started off with a pairing against Zinch, which I was not happy about because they can shut off commands and they can block you with a spawn and stuff like that. But then they redid the pairing and I got OBR first round, and that was great for me. Won that pretty high against a very nice opponent from Belgium. Then I had to play a Danish national player with Sylvaneth, and that went as it should. I didn't do much, and I lost that one. Then I played a Norwegian, Eric, with Stonehorns, and that could have gone my way, but then I failed some key charges and then get the double turn. So what seemed to look like a 20-0 became a 0-20 pretty quick. And then second day I played twice against slaves, against someone from Germany who I know who plays for the Greece team, the Greek team. I won against that, and then an Austrian player, also a slaves player. So Sunday was my slaves day, and I managed actually to win both. So luckily, still positive win rate, and it was a great event. Yep, it was fun playing KO. No pressure there. Could have been 4-1 maybe, but the army struggles in some aspects.
Well, hopefully they've gotten some updates recently, and maybe we'll have a look at them and see if that will change the fate of the army.
That's a nice professional segue there.
You can see he's doing this for years.
Done this for years. But before we do, and then I've got, because we call this Krohn's Grand Tour. So, is the Grand Tour on Amazon Prime a thing like everywhere else, or is it just a UK thing?
Oh, so like the Top Gear guys.
Yeah, the Top Gear. Yeah.
No, didn't it stop already?
Yes, but I just want to know if people know what it is.
Yeah, I know Grand Tour.
So
they're great.
So this is Krohn's Grand Tour, and since there's 3 of us on this show, and there's 4 of them,
who's who?
We need to know either in the live chat or the comments who's who out of us.
We know who Richard Hammond is.
Yeah. Who's Captain Slow and who's Jeremy Clarkson?
Jeremy Clarkson. It's quite fun. Yeah, I actually just watched Clarkson's Farm this night. So
very season 4?
Yeah, it's very entertaining. I must say, those 3 guys, whatever it is, James May on a mission, or Grand Tour, or Clarkson Farm, that's something I can actually watch with my wife. She finds them amusing as well and entertaining. Cool. Yeah, Grand Tour is definitely a thing here. Top Gear was a thing. I mean, I'm a engineering. I used to be engineering student, so it was all about cars. So that's why we always watch the new episodes of Top Gear and then Grand Tour. And but I prefer those special episodes where they go somewhere.
Yeah, like the journey episodes.
Those were hilarious. Yeah.
Cool.
So who's who? Write it in.
Write in the comments. Who's who?
Well, I'd say Max is our stateman. Our stateman. He's Jeremy Clarkson. Lee is the guy who keeps coming up with like new and chaotic ideas. So he's Hammond.
But that's all of them.
Yeah, that is all of them.
That's all of them. But but he's very meticulous. Maybe he's James May.
I should have like.
Do you like cheese?
Bit of a reputation for, sort of, like, as much as a normal person. I have a bit of a reputation for being slow at playing Warhammer. So maybe I am Captain Slow. I've been downgraded from an admiral to a captain. But after ruining Krohn's segue there, maybe we'll move on and talk about the things that people actually have tuned into the show for. Because they're talking in the chat about Gunhaulers.
Nonsense.
But before we talk about the KO stuff, let's just get a little bit of a bearing for where everything is going to be, because technically you can't really play any of this Scourge of Ghyran stuff yet. it's legal for the new GHB onwards. That's correct, isn't it?
Yes,
I'm sure
correct.
But they've dropped some other hints for what's happening in the new GHB. I think this is quite everything because I prepped this a few days ago.
There's more. There's been something
been more
today, but that was regarding manifestations and priests.
Yeah. So there's
been something about list building. So you can buy enhancements. Apparently. Some of them.
I think I have
Not
that one
all
here.
of them, but some of them.
Just
So that
the
could be
overpowered
interesting.
ones, the strong ones that they
I've
they
got that one on
decide.
here. So let's just quickly go through them. Battle plans. Looks like on objectives there's going to be well, not necessarily always, but there's going to be 2 red objectives, 2 green, 1 blue, and 1 purple. Obviously, you might not have 6 objectives on each mission, but it does mean that potentially there's going to be things like, oh, you need to go to this particular, the dragon objective or whatever it is, or do something with specific objectives. So that's an interesting change. I like that. I think that's going to be good.
It's interesting. I think they have, or they used to have this in 40k where objectives had numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or something. Instead of doing numbers, they're doing colors, symbols, whatever. Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Okay, we'll see. Could be interesting.
Yeah, as long as they use it well. It gives them some design space to work with. That's good. Battle tactics are now cards, and you add them to your army and list building. So you have a card with 3 tasks on, and you have to complete them in order in the game to get victory points. And you get 2 cards. So you could, in theory, do up to 6 battle tactics, although it might be that you can still only do 1 per turn.
That's a question, because this one here, some armies can achieve 15 points in 1 round.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how it works. If you need to complete one first, then you can score the next turn, or not quite clear to me.
But yeah, can you do one from each card
when you
in the same
pick
turn?
your army, kind of?
Yes.
Is it like a new thing in?
You need to
army bit list building.
Choose a set. Yeah. Apparently, you choose a set of. I don't know.
A bit
how
like
many
how
cards.
you used to choose a grand strategy.
Was it 2?
It's 2 cards. It said 2. Yeah, 2 cards. So you'll get 6. Although maybe and they did say that they all have 3 battle tactics on them. So
the question.
That's cool.
Yeah, the thing is, as always, you will have the haves and have-nots.
Yeah.
Like this scouting thing, be in your opponent's territory, blah blah blah. And then you have fire slayers moving 4 inches. Oh. Yeah. Go ahead.
Amusing Parks in the chat says, what percentage of the cards wouldn't be impossible for KO because they require magic or prayers or something? So
we don't know.
Unfortunately, that could happen. Unfortunately,
we can cast magic now, though. We can do that. We have the technology. It was returned to us.
But does it count as casting though?
Don't know.
It's a summon. Yeah. We have been through editions where monsters were very good. We didn't have monsters. Then we had editions where priests were good and wizards were good. We had neither of those, so it just might be a good edition for us.
Yeah,
because we can achieve battle tactics very easy. Maybe we don't know at this point. It's all speculative.
I don't think they said how many battle tactic cards there will be, but the one that they shared is number 5. So there's at least 5. Probably there'll be 6. Maybe
I'd
8.
assume there's 6, and then another 1 for each Grand Alliance, because they seem to like that thing.
Yeah.
Maybe then new books will introduce new battle tactic cards for
you might get a faction
armies, and who knows.
There's a couple of things I want to point out about this. The first one on this one is very simple. It's just have 3 units wholly outside your territory. The second one, you had to control objectives and terrain features, but they had to be contested by friendly scout units. So scout units are obviously either something you pick in list building or a new keyword like infantry.
So stuff like
It's non-hero infantry, non-hero cavalry, so not boats.
Yeah, but it just says friendly scout units, but it's not bold and keyworded. So
no, but on top it explains what a scout unit is.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Non-hero infantry, non-hero cavalry, so no war machines.
Yeah.
No gunhaulers for that for scouts, unfortunately.
Yeah. There's some changes to all-out attack and all-out defense. So now, if you do all-out attack, you're -1 to save. I don't
but
think
only for that phase or for the turn, or
I don't think they've said how long.
I
would
doing all-out attack and shooting. I don't mind.
Yeah. Some of these changes are very positive for shooting armies like KO.
Although it would be interesting if you do all-out attack and then someone then does covering fire, and then you're -1 to save, and they're shooting you with covering fire.
Sure.
Yeah. All-out defense now only lasts for one activation or like attack ability.
Fantastic.
So that's going to be good for shooting for KO because we're shooting with like 3 or 4 units. You only get the bonus for one unit shooting.
So you can all-out defense against one of the Thunder units, the other 2 Thunder units, and the Ironclad are still shooting a all-out defense less unit, and that's going to start ripping people to shreds.
Yeah, and it's also going to be good for frigates with like multiple units of balloons because there'll be all-out defense for like one unit of balloon boys, but not the other one.
And also the all-out attack having a drawback now makes -1 to hit very good. So the Skyvessel cover is potentially very good. Any +1 to hits you can have are very very strong.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Someone for the Lorindi, I guess that's an acronym, says that there should be 10 cards because you're choosing 2. They don't really seem to do things.
Maybe there's 12.
But there could be 12. Who knows?
We don't know with the card numbers yet.
And there was a little bit of a hint, without much detail, about scenery, that units are going to be harder to target if every model is within 1 inch of obscuring terrain. So I hope we don't have a thing where you just sit some models in front of obscuring terrain and they can't be shot. Like you just put a Mega Gargant within 1 inch of obscuring terrain and it can't be shot. That
kind of sounds like that's what they're doing, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I hope they've thought about that and playtest it, and it's not you still have to be behind it or something. But we'll see. Places of power will be able to heal now rather than or
be deadly.
So I guess that's if you roll a 1, you take wounds instead of healing. Yeah, and as we mentioned before, some stuff is going to cost points, including enhancements and spell.
But only the really good ones that everyone takes.
Formations. Yeah, most stuff is going to be free, but something's going to be like 20 or 30 points.
The purple sun's not going to be free.
It's interesting that they now have a tool to balance manifestation wars. Like everyone used to play Morbid, now make it 50 points. Some lists won't take it anymore.
I think that stuff like that's going to happen for sure.
Yeah. But I think the thing that's more interesting is the enhancements, spell laws and formations being points, because the laws, I guess the laws is mostly referring to manifestations, but if all of a sudden like Aether Runner starts costing points because everyone's using it,
it's just another wheel they can turn to balance things.
Yeah, so that'd be interesting to see how that ends up playing out.
I'll tell you how it ends up. It ends up at 2010 points.
Yeah, for whatever's the good list. Yeah.
Exactly.
Some battle plans are going to require capturing terrain pieces.
Sure.
Interesting. And
I mean, everyone's getting faction terrain now, so let's go.
But it might be specific. It might. Who knows? But that does make me wonder if something like Take the Land isn't going to exist as a on one of the battle tactics cards, because it's going to be on something. Where's Max gone? Here he is. And he came back empty-handed.
speaking of faction
Oh
trains.
no, he has.
vampire houses.
I've seen those are a lot bigger than I thought they would be.
They are
I thought
huge.
they were.
These are real chonkers. This
I
thing
thought they were like the.
This is
the old ones.
like you can kill someone with this.
The old ones don't like it.
It's like massive plastic.
Yeah.
But it's a very clever kit. It's only 2 sprues. They're identical, and it builds 3 houses. Well, actually, it builds 6 houses because you can build the Nexus of Grief for the Night One as well.
Okay.
Yeah, they're cute. Little painted them yesterday for a tournament next weekend. And then there's a little one. So yeah, KO terrain. Let's go.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be a crash ship, Black Hawk Down style.
Like, here's your faction terrain. It's a reminder of the fragility of your army.
Yeah.
And we already have crash ship.
I'm still getting the Zom. We'll get the Zom back.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Or like Sky Mines.
I mean, although the thing is, people have been saying we're going to get a faction train piece for like 5 years now, and it hasn't happened.
I mean,
who was it that said the rumor in 2nd edition that they had one and they took it out of the book? Was it Gary? I think it was Gary.
Yeah, I think I heard that it was like we had a faction terrain, but it was something wrong and it didn't make it to the printers in time for the 3rd ed book. So they have it. It's just waiting for the next big release.
Everyone's getting terrain and manifestations. So
the theory is that they wanted to do faction terrain for every army, and then because of COVID, it all got messed up, which makes sense. And now they're back in a position of doing it.
It's interesting because 40k they started doing it like halfway, and then they stopped.
Yeah, but did they stop doing COVID?
I don't know. But people weren't using it at tournaments.
No, they made them cost points. All the faction terrain cost points, and I think no one bought it. Is the big thing. People buy it in AOS because it doesn't cost points, and you just take it. It's just part of the army.
It's a free ability. Yeah, for example, these houses are pretty good. Yeah. So there might be some turret shooting or like an anti-magic ignore aura. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Another thing we need to transport on a very fragile flight stand.
We'll see what it is. Hopefully, it's not a turret that does 2d6 shots, 4s and 4s of 12-inch range.
No rent.
Okay, yeah, no red as well, and 6s on a unmodified 1s that explodes. But I don't know, like a refueling thing or something that makes boats faster, or I don't know.
That'd be nice. I think it heals boats.
Or like
little sky mines. Like replace 3 of them start of game. 1 in your territory, 1 in your opponent's, and if they come close, they like half move or can't fly or get some more moves. Who knows?
Like a little Aether gold pumping station that, if you're near it, everything's just better because there's so much Aether gold around and stuff. I don't know. Cool. Last thing I have prepped on the screen that they said about is there's going to be at least one battle plan where the players deploy on the same side of the table. How do you feel about that as a KO player?
How does that even work?
So we both deploy on the narrow side. It will be fantastic at tournaments when you have like tables next to each other. And then they race to the other end. Yeah. I don't know. I very silly.
When I did like some like battle plans for like 1K games and smaller, and that I did a battle plan like that, I feel like it's an interesting idea, but you still need to be relatively far apart.
We had battle plans where you potentially could set up in combat range with your opponent.
It will create an interesting dynamic.
Very stupid.
Like, do you just fight each other, or do you go after getting the objective?
I think you need to score points. You need to get to the other side.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
You just teleport across. I don't know. Like, obviously teleports like that, but
I recently watched someone at the club play Necromunda with these ash wastes, and they were moving across the board, but the models were still, and the terrain moved.
That's
so
cool.
each round they had to pick up all the terrain and move it like 6 inches to the side.
What?
So to create like the road was moving.
Oh, I see.
So only the fast things and things that fly off the board.
Thing I'd ever seen. Like everyone's picking up terrain, moving it forward every turn.
Oh god.
It seemed.
You have to keep up, or your models slowly fall off the edge of the back.
Exactly,
of the board.
they need to move forward because I don't know. There's a sandstorm coming. I don't know what. But it was just nonsense.
Very video gamey.
Yeah, and if you remember, there was a battle plan which I successfully managed to never play, called Lurkers Below, which was the epitome of silliness. With these 3 objectives, and if you scored them all 3, you had to score your home, then the middle, and if you had both, you could contest the opponents, and if you managed that,
that one, yeah.
I just refused to play it for a whole year, and was successful, and it sounds like something like that.
I remember playing that one at Warhammer Worlds, and I just retreated onto the opponent's objective, and then we won the game. In turn 2.
It is.
I did the same. Those kind of missions were always very feels bad. KO were very good at winning those. You just teleport and take a single turn where you just like tap their objective and game over.
No, you just need a priority into 3. So end of 2, you need to be on the objective. Round 3, I'm still on. I won.
Yeah, you don't even need priority. You just need at the end of 2, if you're on all objectives. So the second round 3 starts.
We had a few of those.
Yeah, that's what I did.
That's
what I did. It's like was in a position where because it was like as soon as the battle round started, if anyone had the objective, it was like
we had the one with if you had all 4, you automatically won, but then you could remove 1 objective by round 3. So basically, you just needed 3, and then you automatically won. It was some very stupid battle plans. I hope it's not that kind of battle plan.
Interesting thing about the KO terrain being a moving piece of terrain in the chat. I can see that like a tanker, and you're like protecting like this tanker, and it's giving out a buff, but it's slow.
So I'm playing 2 games. I'm playing my opponent, and I'm playing my running catch. I'm playing catch with my own terrain piece.
Yeah. It could be interesting, and because the thing is KO fast, and you don't want something like, and a lot of faction training is like, it's just sitting in your deployment, and then you go walk away from it. So,
it's, we have moving faction terrain, like the Shrine Luminor moves, and it just makes things so complicated. I don't know.
Cool.
Another thing to sell us. We'll buy it. We'll paint it. We'll see if we use it.
Cool. Let's talk about some of these new KO things then. Right. So first of all, we've got some Artifacts of Power, which is nice. They are in a position of they're up against some strong competition because we already have good Artifacts of Power.
However, we have a formation where we can pick 2. That's good. Maybe potentially we can buy more. I don't know. With list building.
Okay. So the first thing to say is, does that make that formation better?
Definitely. Probably, if there's more artifacts, the more artifacts, the more
to choose from.
Better that.
Hard to tell what is important, but having both ward removal and auto unbind. Sounds interesting.
Can I point out that the formation specifically says like you can only pick it from the other, like the existing one though. Like it names it names the
because you choose an enhancement table.
So
first enhancement would come your one you pick from your list would come from this, and then the one from the detachment would come from the old one. So you can't get 2 of these, but you could get 2 of the old ones, or 1 of these and 1 of the old ones.
Sounds like a KO FAQ waiting to happen in 2 years' time. It's something that's not intentional, but they won't answer it for 2 years, and then
because this one does. This does say also in the rules list that you can pick it instead of picking 1 from your faction one, so maybe that overrides it.
Is the name the same? Ingenious Innovations?
No, that's the thing is they've got different names, and it literally names it in the other thing. Like you can pick 1 from like the whatever it's called. I can't take my battle. I think I left my battle tome at Warscroll.
We don't have battle tomes.
Yes, we do.
We have an index. We have some Warscroll cards.
We have
Some
like
cards.
a phone where we can check.
Oh yeah, that's why I can't find it.
Because we don't have a battle tome.
What? I don't
You're ahead of
know. I'm like I've lost my battle tome and I don't have a battle tome.
Yeah, I lost my
Oh,
battle
I'm
tome
so
2 in
confused.
3rd edition. It seems to have gotten lost over there. Can we get it back,
Oh.
please?
I definitely had 2 books in my bag and I've lost one, so I've lost a book of some sort. I don't know what it was.
Oh no.
Maybe it was an old KO battle tome that was hanging around.
This is fantastic podcasting. Kharadron Overlords, faction packs, formations, Engineers Guild Expeditionary Force. Is it that one? Yeah. Inventions of the Skyports is the other one. The other table.
Right, and this is Ingenious Innovations.
Maybe we'll get an FAQ errata, or they'll just forget about it and people will do it wrong in list building and we'll have to point it out every time. But let's go through the...
Yeah, so let's talk about these. The first one is Spell in a Bottle.
Before we do that,
but it's not...
can we point out how lazy the naming was for all of these? Because it just literally, I think, of all these traits and stuff, and they just picked names that we already had.
The middle one is a new thing.
I don't think we've had a...
But then also the traits, there's one or two that we already had. So
yeah. I mean, people have been asking for Spell in a Bottle for ages, so bring back the things that people have. So, but Spell in a Bottle, once per battle, your hero phase, and basically the way it works now is that you can use a summon ability from the manifestation law that you picked during army competition, as if the bearer had Wizard 1, and instead of making a casting roll, that summon ability, the casting roll is considered to be a 7 and can't be modified. So you can't do things like Purple Sun because they cast on an 8.
Can't do Purple Sun, you cannot do Gravetide, I think.
And we specifically found a rules writer at Warhammer World, an AOS rules writer, and we asked him about the casting roll for 7, and he said it is intended that it's so that you can't use stuff like Purple Sun. And then when I told him there was discussion about it, he looked very disappointed.
Well, yeah, I was a bit surprised there's been discussion about it because I think I could understand if when you skim read it at the first time, you might be like, "Oh, it counts as casting as a 7, for like unbinding purposes." But then if you read further, it's like it can't be unbound anyway. So
I mean, this is like a Spell in a Bottle from Wish. This is you get the only generic lores, not the good ones, and.
I mean,
you summon something, and then they will get.
Okay, let me explain why this
cannot
is
be
bad.
Unbound, sure, but then it can be just banished. So
there's a number of reasons why this is not that great. First of all, generally the reason why endless spell or manifestations are quite good is because people can just spam them. Like they can, if you've got the right list, you can bring 3 manifestations on a turn, and if they get killed, you bring them back on the next turn. And you keep bringing that. You could have like 15 units for free during a game. This can't do that. No. You get 1 and done, and that's it once. There's no bringing it back again on. So it's already a lot less powerful than like just having a wizard or whatever. Yeah. But it's also your hero phase only. So one of the other good things about manifestations is, oh, I'm going to do Caesar Center. Oh, well, I'm going to cast this. And
put a bridge.
And put something, and put the Kronspine in the center or something. You can't do that. You can't block movement with it or do any of the shenanigans because it's your turn only. Most of the manifestations only really do something if they either get in combat or move over something, which you're going to cast it, but it can't move on the turn it's set up. So then there's an opportunity for the opponent to banish it in their turn.
Currently, the only use I see is bridge.
Yeah. So there's only 3 endless spells you can do something with. There is that where banishing isn't a problem. There's 2 that shoot, which is the best one of those is Horrorghast because it shoots and it has his whole blocking CP effect. But the timing of it's not great.
9 inches away, it has 10-inch range.
Yeah,
so
so
the
they
1
do
inch
a redeploy,
and then
so
you just wasted an artifact.
So the only really good
nice
thing
to take a Krohn spine, but that's an 8.
Yeah, that's an 8.
You can't.
A Krohn spine is at least immune to getting insta banished.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the next issue. Have you seen the cities rules? The new Pope?
No.
She can banish in your turn. She on a 3+ in your hero phase. She can just banish an endless spell. So you set
you
this
bring
up.
it on and then it's gone.
You bring it on. She rolls a 3 up and it's gone. It's
fun.
Extremely powerful. Stupid.
So the only good thing is bridge. That's the only thing. So then it's
the only thing that with the construct of list building and the game as it is now, we don't know. Maybe everything changes and this becomes hilariously good. The only thing I found is bridge, but then still, I used to play bridge with 35 Thunderers and Ironclad and bridge and all that. But now the shooting ranges are 10 and 15 inches. Yeah, you can increase those, but I don't think it will be that effective. So
the only way I think which is really good is if you're also then taking a Regiment of Renown and you're bridging something like that, or maybe just bridging some Arcanauts onto an objective or something.
But then just use a boat. Run the boat and put them
there. But it's cheaper than having a boat. Like if you don't have enough points for an extra boat, and you could bridge 20 Arcanauts for like the case of having an artifact. So that's but all of this does come with the caveat that there are probably going to be new war scrolls for pretty much every manifestation in the game in the new GHB. So please hope there's some good ones. And that they
good ones that only cost 7 to cast.
Yes, and they do things without having to charge and relying on 9-inch charge or move over things.
Who knows? But not the best on this list.
I guess the only other thing you could do is take Life Swarm to heal things.
But I think our healing is pretty good already.
But we have enough boat healing.
Yeah. So
I'd rather healing. I don't need healing. I need more rally balloons. That's what I need.
Yeah. So the next thing is the Cast Spanner Aether powered combat rig, which basically gives the hero a 5+ ward, which is good, and +1 to the attacks characteristic of melee weapons, which is also not bad. The problem is who do you put it on?
Exactly.
I mean, I put it on like an Endwin Master. Give him 4 attacks that do 3 damage each, which is nice.
Yeah, the dirigible. he's the only one that you want to put this on.
Or an Admiral, maybe. But again, it's the... So you could give a little buff to your hero for combat powers. Or you could, let him turn off wards. Or auto-unbind a spell. Or fly, teleport one of your boats. Like it's the artifacts that provide a personal buff versus artifacts that provide an army buff. And we're going to take army buff every time.
Yeah.
If we have a build in the new GHB and maybe we have new heroes and new Warscrolls where you specifically need that little guy to survive until round 2 or 3, sure, I'll put a 5-up ward on a navigator. Or if the new Sky Warden hero that I think we'll get is a super attack monster. Yeah, sure. Give him another set of attacks and a 5 award.
Yeah.
Then it's a good choice. But as the game is now, no.
Yeah. Nope. So it's a little. I can't see myself using this one. And there's a big problem with the foot heroes that are good at melee. That unless you're putting them in a frigate, because you can't transport them and then they charge. So getting them in combat, it normally means that your opponents charge you and things are going wrong. So because you've got better things.
Frigate you've got better things. Or a balloon.
Yeah, you've got better things to put in a frigate. So yeah. Okay. Next one is Emberstone Flare, which is once per battle. Your movement phase, you pick a friendly KO unit that has fly and is not in combat to be the target. So this is, that's the hero picks a unit with fly, anywhere on the battlefield. There's no range on this, no visibility required. They just have to pick a unit that has fly, and you get to remove that target from the battlefield and set it up again wholly within 9 inches of the hero and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. This is really good. It's a
fly high. It's a fly high towards
good.
the hero. And you can do hilarious things with this.
Yes, you could, because you could teleport a boat. Unfortunately, if you do teleport a boat, you don't get to transport stuff because it's not moving.
Yes.
But you can do some sneaky things with this. You can teleport a unit of engine riggers or sky wardens to a boat, and then when the boat moves, the boat will get to take them with it. And then, so if they go off and take the flanks,
that unit over there, you get
go
it
do scouting mission, then
put
you
it in
back.
a boat, and then they can fly again. Teleports are always good. I like this one. It's the best one of the 3.
Yeah, it's cool.
Definitely.
And I could see this being your generic pick, and then you pick one of Burst Grenade or Nullstone or something if you're taking Engineer's Guild. And as an extra one once you've seen what your opponent's army is. Because you could pretty much always use this at some point in the game.
You can do this, you deploy over there.
Yeah.
Your opponent gets priority. That boat is now over here.
Yeah.
In your movement phase. It's completely change. And this is movement phase. So after he moved. So you can have a boat, move your hero to, 30 inches away where he was, and then pick up another boat and put it next to him. Wholly in 9. So you can get
move a hero by moving a boat and transporting him, and then bring another boat.
Yeah.
Or bring a unit. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that doesn't make this any better is if it was any movement phase. That would be broken as hell. Then, in your opponent's turn. Yeah.
I mean, look, if we wanted to, we could it'd be nice if it transported everything with the boat as well. Then it'd be broken. But
it's good. It's
I feel like the main use for this is going to be moving a unit to a boat, because then you can then move the boat afterwards, and they're not.
I'll tell you what the use is. We'll see on the next page.
Okay.
If there's any trick you can do.
Okay. I just want to bring up this from the chat as well, because they were talking about, after you said about a new hero, what we could really use is a 5-wound hero with 4-inch move and minimal impact on the game. Unfortunately,
what do you mean?
Games Workshop will never do something like that.
They have lots of ideas.
So let's move on, because we've got Skyvessel upgrades.
Nice.
This is really nice because this is just a flat out extra thing.
Buff.
This is not competing with anything else. Like the other things are competing with artifacts that we already had. This is just like a net buff.
It's an extra. It's like a mount rate they're giving out. Just an extra thing.
So, I mean, most of these are good, to be fair. Let's start with the first one. Is probably the best, I think, all rounder. So basically, it's called Voidstone Repulse events, and it's a reactional ability when a friendly unit within 12 inches of this unit was picked to be the target of an enemy spell ability. You get to roll a dice. On a 4+, you get to ignore the effects of that spell on that unit, and you inflict D3 mortal damage on the caster. And then it says that this unit can't use the ability more than once per phase, but you can only roll once for each friendly unit per spell cast. So, so you can't roll more than so if you've got a unit of Enderriggers next to the boat, you can't roll twice for the Enderriggers. But everything within range of the boat can roll once. If multiple things.
But roll once per spell cast. So if my opponent casts 3 spells on my Enderriggers, can I roll 3 times? Because it's 3 different spells.
I think so. It's basically every time they cast a spell at you, you get one chance to just
Yeah, but basically you can't just keep rolling 4+ for the same spell until you get one. You just like on the same. Unit,
I can't repeat the reaction. But
yeah,
if they have an unlimited spell and they put it all on the same target, I can use 3 times.
And
yes,
there are
because
plenty of debuffing spells and damage dealing spells in the game.
There's a fantastic one from the Git mob that will have shooting ranges. So this is great. First thing to pick out, reaction is a friendly unit, not the KO unit.
Yes.
Yeah, so it works with.
So we have a bundle Whalebiter with a 4-up spell ignore now. No, actually we have a Saviors of Cinderfall with a 3-up save, 4-up ward, and a 4-up spell ignore now.
Oh dear.
Sure, yeah.
From a Gunhauler.
Yeah.
That's
or if you want a bigger aura from an Ironclad.
I mean the 12 inches is fine.
Well, this is an interesting thing about this because you can give these spell upgrades to anything with the Skyvessel keyword.
Yeah.
And we haven't talked about the new Gunhauler yet. But the new Gunhauler, you can reinforce. So if you've got a unit of 2 Gunhaulers,
yes,
you're getting that aura from the unit.
Your entire army is at least after deployment in a 4-up spell ignore.
And as the chat says, it's just within, not
wholly within. So it's a huge aura, actually.
Yes. I think that's a typo, but
I'm sure that will get FAQ to wholly within at some point. It must do.
I mean, there are some abilities in the game that are still within ranges, which is stupid.
There's normally when it's an enemy unit.
Yeah,
it's
no, for friendly.
Within,
for friendly units
friendly
within
units, it's like
13 or something. Like, okay, sure. Everyone. Fantastic. Great free upgrade.
Yeah, and the D3 mortal wounds on the caster as well is just because then they're thinking, do I even risk casting the spell? Like, because you cast a spell that might do like D4 mortal wounds itself.
You get D3 mortal wounds,
yeah. And you got the chance that you might take D3 mortal wounds if you miscast. The chance that then it comes back, and then
the fun thing is this is a reaction, so it happens after a miscast. Because you pick the target in the declare step, then you roll, you do double ones, you get D3 mortal wounds, and then still I can roll the 4-up and do
you just have to be
wounds because it's
target,
2 separate bullet points. It's ignore the effect and inflict. So fantastic.
So it's really good, and area of effect spells have always been something that KO didn't like very much, particularly when we had stuff inside the boat. But I don't think there are many area of effect spells, but
would that count if an area
effects don't pick targets?
Oh
yeah. I think you have
that's
to
a good point.
Pick it. Otherwise, you could roll like 5 dice against an area of effect spell, and then do like 5 D3 mortal wounds back.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, but
we used to. We've been there, and they stopped it in this edition.
Yeah.
No, great, fantastic, very fun.
So that was cool. Let's keep up. The chat is very active today. Someone says they don't think it'll be FAQ just because they're biased and they love them. love the rules. Yeah, cool. So next one is Blazebeard's Son's ejector
pod.
It's an ejector pod.
While it's not like it's not a pick you'd realistically use, but it's so fluffy. Like I can really see the vision of just launching this one dwarf just out of a boat.
But this is fantastic.
There's some interesting things you can do with this.
This is fantastic.
Let's just say
read the rule. Let's read the rule.
Once per battle, any combat phase, so your opponent's turn, if this unit is in combat, pick a visible friendly Kharadron Overlords hero wholly within 6 inches of this unit to be the target. So it doesn't have to be the bearer, but it does have to be a hero and KO. You get to remove that target from the battlefield, then set it up again wholly within 18 inches of this unit and more than 9 inches from all enemy units.
So remember, you can teleport a Skyvessel from anywhere to your hero. Now we're in the combat phase. You don't need to be in combat. Just combat phase is happening.
Yes.
Now you can catapult your
hero.
No,
the hero does need to be in combat to do it.
No, where does it?
It says if this unit is in combat.
Yeah, but the hero is not the one carrying this. This is the ship.
Oh, okay, yeah, but the ship. A ship needs to be in combat.
Okay, yeah, the ship needs to be.
Yeah.
Well, let's charge the ship. Who cares?
Yeah.
Teleport. Charge the ship.
You
can have a Gunhauler. You can have a Gunhauler. And you can set this up. There's a hero. You charge him in, because you can pick a hero that can be in combat. It doesn't have to be. You charge someone in, charge a boat in next to him, and say, okay, this guy is now going to catapult 18 inches behind the enemy lines onto your objective.
And then the Ironclad follow. In the next turn, the Ironclad just don't talk to me or my son ever again.
Yeah, you teleport someone the next turn. Particularly if you know your turn is next, like teleport the boat over there as well.
And this is any here, so like Brock is now here. See your opponent's little casters in the backfield.
Because this happens. You give this to the boat, not the hero, so Brock can totally benefit from it.
There's also some interesting things with this you can do. You can't really you can do some interesting things because you could teleport to 9 inches away, but if you charge with a frigate with that hero counts as having charge, so then they'll get to pile in after teleporting 9 inches away as well.
Yes. Yeah, you do the old Manfred trick. You teleport away and then pile into onto an objective that they thought they screened out.
Yeah. So there's some interesting things there, and depending on when you wait to activate that hero, if they activate other stuff around and accidentally come within 6 inches of you, then you could pile in and then fight. Because because
this is
remember in the combat phase you use abilities before fighting. So
absolutely. The spell ignore is the one pick that you probably take, but this you can build some very clever things with this.
Yeah, this is for the big brain. You could
they'll never see this coming, and then bam.
10 points. Which is what KO really loves to do anyway, isn't it? KO is all about big brain players.
We'll need to see the other battle tactics, but maybe there's one where this just makes it so easy.
Because it's get a hero somewhere, and it's well, here we go.
Get a hero in combat and then into your opponent's territory or something.
Yeah.
You just charge a hero in, yeet him in, a boat is behind it, yeet the boat in, and then boop, hero's gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's intended to be okay, we get that hero out of dodge if they charge you.
Yeah, but that's not how we use it.
That's not how we're going to be using it.
We're abusing it.
Yeah,
fun.
If there's something to kill, enemy terrain, because enemy terrain, you wouldn't have to be 9 inches away when you teleport to it, but then you would be able to fight it. So you could,
empty objectives, screw up opponents' battle tactics, whatever.
Screwing up your opponent's battle tactics is going to be huge with this too.
Okay, and the next one is an oldie but a goodie. It's the Zomba Corp Dealbreaker Battle Ram.
But they nerfed it.
Well,
unmodified charge roll now. Used to be.
There's not much that we can modify our charge rolls anyway, really, can it?
The main thing was
have an Ironclad with +3.
Well, but there was also the days when you could do a 3d6 charge with it as well.
Yeah.
Well, back then, but that would still be unmodified, wouldn't it?
Yeah, this would.
You rolled an 18 on 3d6.
I mean, the main thing is this can go on a frigate now, and a frigate wants to charge anyway.
True. The frigate already rolls. Oh no, it doesn't.
No, not
it
anymore.
Used to, but this is any charge phase as well, so it works in counter charge. So, I mean,
could make the frigate deadlier. Probably he'll go for the spell ignore.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's just universally good.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about the Dealbreaker Battle Ram is it's something you could potentially use every game where it's a spell ignore. You could come up against Krohn. And then you could,
in your tournament, in a tournament, you will use that.
Yes, in a 5-game tournament, it will get you'll get your use out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is interesting because then you can go into the build with fly over, do bombs, charge in, do mortal wounds, fight first, kill people, do mortal wounds with the Skywardens jumping out, Brock does mortal wounds, everyone does mortal wounds. Could be an interesting build. Yeah.
This is a hat on a hat, essentially, isn't it? It's a thing you want to do anyway, and it's like it makes it better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's cool. I like it. It was always a fan favorite in the past. So that's you'll see people using that. That's cool. Let's move on then and talk about the 2 new Warscrolls. So the first one is the Scourge of Ghyran Grundstok Gunhauler Warscroll. First one we should point out about these Warscrolls is you can use these or use the existing ones. Like they don't replace the existing Warscrolls, but you can't use both in the same list.
Yes.
So the Gunhauler gets a 14-inch move now, keeps a 3+ save, 10 health, and control score 2. The ranged weapons get combined into one profile with 15-inch range, 3 attacks, 4s, 3s, -2 rend, and a flat 3 damage.
I do like 3 damage.
So not a shabby profile. Hitting on 4s is a little bit of a shame.
It's all right.
But 15-inch range all over, I think, is okay. I think that's fine. That's good. Better than like some 12 and some. Generally, you can play your Gunhauler from further away now if you want to. And then there's no bombs, but the bombs are part of the melee weapons now. So you got bombs and boarding weapons.
Yeah, just forget those.
You got rend on them now. D3 damage.
Nothing will happen from the melee attack. The interesting part, this
it's only 4 attacks is the thing.
This Gunhauler cannot transport anyone.
Yeah,
because it's the
2D
one.
Yeah, that's the big miss for this because as we mentioned earlier, you can reinforce this Gunhauler. Now, if you're going to make a Gunhauler reinforce, having its transport capacity is like not be a thing is bad. I think it was a missed opportunity.
It is reinforceable.
Because it would have made a problem. So both can transport 5. How do you set them up? Wholly within 6 of which one? Half unit here, half unit there. It just didn't make sense.
Well, yeah, but they'll be sitting right next to each other, so it just has to be like.
No, but then
just wholly within 6 inches of the unit.
You need to be wholly within of whom? Do you split your unit or
of the unit? Of the unit. They have to be like wholly within 6 inches. It could have given you the option of transporting 10 Arcanauts or 10 Thunderers, and I think that's a mistake.
Would have made stuff like it would have screwed with the rules, and how rules are used. So it's fine. Who cares? The best thing is the passive. While this unit is wholly within 12 of any other Gunhaulers, it can use shoot abilities even if it run. So you're having a 20-inch move, 15-inch range unit with 6 shots, potentially freeze and freeze, 2 range, 3 damage. And if you use a shoot ability, that's the next rule. This unit can move D6. So you can just move away, or you.
No. That's not the play here. You move closer. That's the play. Because there's a thing you can do here where you just put 2 Gunhaulers in the sky, bring them down 9 inches away, shoot, move D6 closer, have the battle ram on them as well, charge in, and then it's like, okay, well, your really important linchpin hero at the back of the table is dead.
Yeah, sure. That's something you could do. Yeah, I like it. Or because it's any shooting phase, you can cover fire with them, and then still get a D6 redeploy.
Disappear.
Sort of.
Because the passive is use the run ability. It's not a run ability, but the run ability. So it doesn't work on redeploy.
Yeah.
However, the other one is a D6 move after shooting. So you shoot and then you move.
you can't. So you can shoot and then move, but you can't redeploy
No,
where
but
you
it
can
is
shoot and
redeploy is a
Yeah.
D6 move, so that's what I meant.
yes, it's essentially
Basically,
redeploy.
it's a second.
The point is you can't do both, but
No,
it
you
does
don't
fix
get
a
to redeploy
whole.
2d6.
No, but it does fix a whole of what KO has a problem with is that you can only do the redeploy trick with one boat.
Yeah, but this is not the
Yeah.
boat you want to do it with because it cannot transport.
No, but it does give you a unit that can actually move out of dodge without using redeploy a little bit.
Yeah,
if you're willing to spend your
moving in opponents' turns is always good.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to cost you.
So
covering
you
fire,
could have
sure.
You could have a frigate or ironclad do redeploy, then do covering fire on this, and you've then denied 2 charges rather than denying 1 potentially.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And this Gunhauler is the same cost as the existing one.
Yes, 140. And obviously
which is
280.
not bad.
Fine. Perfectly fine.
I feel like a lot of this is trying to bring back the Gunhauler Swarm. I don't think it's going to do that.
No,
I used to play the Gunhauler Swarm, and there's a lot of stuff that list needed that this is missing, like the bombs, like a gun that hits on 3s, because you can all attack 2 of them if they're reinforced, but then the rest of your army is hitting on 4s, which is not great.
It depends what you're using, but yeah.
And there's no ordinator to buff them. This is not going to bring. This is a good gun option for like taking 1 or 2 gun haulers. It's not something that's going to where you're going to take 10. Still,
you're going to take 3. A unit of 2 and another one to give them a run and shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's some interesting thing. I feel like I need to see these on the table to get a proper feel of how good they are, because I feel like I'm a little. The thing is, you could hit with all 3 guns, and then wound with all 3, and then all of a sudden you've done like 9 damage.
Well, sure, but you could say the same for cannons. Like cannons
Yes.
to do like 12 damage if you hit with all the shots and wound. And
yes, that's the
saves.
thing is, so it's going to be very swingy, I think, because you're hitting on 4s. So like you'll get your games where like you hit and stuff, and it will be great, and then you'll get the games where you just do nothing because you're like, oh, okay, well I rolled 3 threes, and like that gun has done nothing. So, like I don't think they have the damage, but where they are good is they're a relatively cheap unit that's fast. That actually is fairly survivable because it's 10 wounds on a 3-up and doesn't degrade at all.
20 wounds in a unit of 2.
Yeah, 20 wounds. Like 20 wounds on a 3-up is half decent.
I mean, that's a unit of Thunderers.
And even though it's not that necessarily that strong in its output, it's something where your opponent then is like, well, how much do I want to commit to taking those gun haulers out? So it's gonna, but I'm not necessarily convinced by them, but I feel like I need to play a couple of games just to see really how good such bad they are.
They can be very good, very annoying. But the Gunhauler is always a battle tactic piece or objective grabber piece. Now it's a scary one.
Yeah, the thing is what I'm concerned about with them is I'm not sure if I want to invest. What was it going to be? 420 points on it to have a reinforced unit and a single one, and then it's 280 if you could just got 2 single ones. But then equally, the power of them would be that not having like. It's this weird thing of you want your gun haulers sort of in separate places, but actually you're going to want them together so they get attack squadron off, and then
probably you don't need to run and shoot. I assume. 14-inch move, put it in Aether runners is 16-inch move. Where are you going to go with the boat?
Yeah. So maybe like I can see them being like you just take one or two, but I don't. Yeah, like Con said, you're not going to be taking like spamming.
This is not the return of the swarm.
I think you can, but even the swarm wasn't good. So why would you return it?
The swarm was great.
Yeah, it was.
It did 10 D3 mortal wounds to people.
I played it. I played 9.
Well,
and me and another guy who played it. I mean, I went 2 and 3, and I think he went 1 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it is the problem that you always have with these MSU spam builds. The moment you start losing 2, 3, 4, your output just decreases massively, and then you don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go on to the next Warscroll.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the next one is the Codewright. Now I can see why they did a Codewright Warscroll, because they had to keep dropping points on it for ages for people to start before people start using it. However,
people still don't use it.
Well,
I
people
used
are
it at
using
the tournament, 80 points.
Yeah.
He fit in the 2,000 point list. Yeah.
Do you think people were sleeping on the Codewright, the original Codewright for a little bit? Because +1 to charge in a free list is not bad.
It was the
+1
to run and charge. It was great because it was board wide.
Yeah.
And he's a hero that can carry artifacts for 80 points.
Mm-hmm.
At 100 points, I would not have taken him.
Mm-hmm.
The main reason was the point cost that you could slot into a build. This one, actually, I like. This new Warscroll. But the old one wasn't bad.
So,
don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they finally got the old one usable, and they're like, okay, now you can have another one. And
sure.
Like, maybe they could have done a different hero. Like, there's a number of heroes that could have potentially had that Warscroll redone, because there's quite a few not being used. But I don't know. So the stats are the stats. Like, they don't matter. They don't matter. Like,
no,
yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah.
He won't do anything. Combat.
The stats do remind me that I forgot to mention about the Gunhauler, that the main thing that's disappointing is it's only control score 2, and if it was like control score 5, I'd be much more interested in taking it.
It's a Gunhauler.
Well, yeah. But anyway, so he's got a 10-inch range attack with shooting with 2 attacks, freeze, -1/1. That's okay, and he can hit you with his books, but no one cares about that. What you take him for his abilities, and maybe whatever artifacts or whatever you put on him. But trust me, you are not putting that 5+ ward and +1 attack on him, unless you really want to keep him alive. So basically, he's got this whole thing where he's like a priest, but he's not a priest, and so he gains D3 vexed points every hero phase. Yeah. Every hero, your opponent's hero phase. You finally have something to do in your opponent's hero phase. Other than Brownie.
By round 2, he will have 6 points. He's going to roll 3
by the end of round 2.
No, hero phase, 2 hero phases. Round 1.
Yeah, so that's probably 4.
You're going to sit at 4, and then it's your turn or your opponent's turn. Hero phase, you're at 6.
Right. So if you're going,
and then you use the ability.
If you're going first in round 2, then on average he should have 6 on average. But he could have.
Even if my opponent goes first, I still roll the points in his hero phase.
Oh yeah, but you want to know about like what matters is how many points you have when you go to use it. If you're going second in the round on round 2, then he on average
I will use
8
this.
Points. You can use it in their turn as well. Actually,
yeah, I will absolutely use it in their turn.
Yeah, depending on actually.
No, absolutely, I will use it in their turn.
Sorry, but yeah. So depending on the turn you want to use it on, you'll either have 6 or 8 on average. You could potentially only have 3 if you keep rolling 1s and 2s, or you might have like 4, in which case you might. If you have 4 or 5, you might as well already have 3.
By round 2, you should have 6.
Yeah. The point is, you likely won't have 6 in round 1. You have to get lucky.
You don't you want 6.
So
you don't want
what's he going to do with these points is the question. And you can do 2 different things, and then both of those have like a normal version and an enhanced version. The normal versions cost 3, the enhanced versions cost 6. That's why it matters how many points you have. So if this unit is wholly within 12 inches of a friendly non-hero Kharadron Overlords unit, so a boat, or some Thunderers, or some Arcanauts, he just has to
anything really, just not make him be alone.
Yeah, just not next to another hero. We can't go walking around holding hands with a hero. He needs to be near something else KO. He then gets to pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches, not only within, to be the target. Then you get to choose either 3 or 6 points. So the first thing you can do is you can complain about how fast they're going. If you spend 3 points, you minus T3 from that unit's move characteristic. And if you spend 6, they get half move.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing you can do is you can complain about their weapons. If you spend 3 points, they're -1 to wound rolls for combat attacks. And if you spend 6, then -1 for rend and wound rolls for combat attacks for melee.
So you can make an enemy unit make one to hit, rend, and wound.
Yeah,
hit, wound, and rend, and you just on their big Death Star unit, and suddenly they don't have a big Death Star unit
on the unit they want to use in that turn. Yeah, it's fantastic. In a new edition where you're already thinking about, do I spend a command point for all attack? You -1 to hit, -1 to -1 rend. I like it. Fantastic. So yeah, how many points is he? 110?
I can't remember. Actually, it's a good point. He's not 80 anymore.
No, he's sadly not 80.
If he was 80, it'd be auto take.
Yeah, it's once per turn army, but there's no limit to how many points he can collect, and
I'm sure he is 110 because I remember thinking, he's cheaper than the other heroes still.
So both of these are great. Your opponent declares take the land with that unit. They're within 18 inches. I have 6 points. Half move.
So I want to bring something up in the chat because Lindry says I'll be taking 2. Well, the actual ability is once per turn army. The gaining points is not.
But
so you could cycle them. Like use one turn, one the next turn.
Well, you can do your hero phase, their hero phase, but you won't take 2. No. It's not worth it. But it's fantastic. It's another debuff.
Yeah. The chat's mentioned also about the navigator, so you could potentially quarter move a unit. Or half move 2 units.
Can we go back to quarter moving?
Because you'd half move with the navigator, then half move this guy.
I liked quarter moving.
Or half move 2 enemy units. So that could be interesting to take a navigator and this guy.
I do like the idea of going back to quarter moving units.
Like it's like if they don't get into combat with you, it
3.5 inch move.
Yeah,
Morrissey on 3 inches.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, actually, she's 12 now, is she? 12 inches.
Yeah. So
back to 3-inch move, Morathi. I love those times.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
One question, guys. How do you get your little Codewright within 18 inches of your big opponent's monster? Is there some catapult we can use to do that?
Some kind of device that could
ejector him with 6 points in his backpack over there. Opponent's turn. You're half moved, or you're quarter moved, or you're doing nothing. Fantastic. Great. I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah. So I like this because it does feel tempting to use it with a navigator because you could redeploy one boat and then the stuff that's going to be attacking the other boat can be like quarter moves. So
is the Codewright? Can he go into a regiment with an admiral?
Yes. He's got the special.
He's a mini hero, isn't he? Yeah.
He's got the special extra words. I can't remember what it is, but he has it. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So you don't increase your drops.
Yeah, like the extra guild hero thing or whatever it's called. He can be one of those. Yeah. So I mean, and this is the main thing about this is that you can do it in your opponent's turn. So it's like because that's a bit of the problem with the navigator with the 18-inch ranges. You have to in your turn.
Yeah, it's hard to get him in 18 inches.
In
This
your
one
hero
happens
phase,
in
but in
the
your opponent's hero
opponent's
phase.
turn. You can set it up. Yeah, and 18 inches is still far enough away to be safe. Yeah.
Yeah. By the time you half move something, yeah. So,
yeet him.
Yeah, and yeah, so like, and the fact there's two different things. So I feel like you probably actually do the movement ones more often, but then you like if you once they're in close, then once they're in close later on in the game, like round 3, then it's like okay, now I'm going to.
I mean, there are armies that they will be in your face for round 2.
Yeah, so I mean, it depends what you're up against. Yeah, because if you've got 14-inch move paladors that are run and charge, so they'll still be doing 7 plus 6. So
we've seen all the other updates we've seen. They really amped up the damage on some of these. Have you seen Abraxia today? It's crazy. The Rune Son of Magmadov, the Stormcaster guy. Like they're really putting a lot of damage on these people. So yeah, -1 to hit, -1 to wound, -1 rend. Less scary now. I like him.
Yeah, it's cool. And 110 points is cheap. So
potentially, we don't know if points will change in a new GHB.
Yeah, I mean,
who knows?
Would be very surprised if they change the points for these 2 war scrolls. Because if so, why bother telling them what they are? But the other stuff could change points. Why bother telling us the points for these if we can't use them to the new GHB anyway? Don't bother telling us.
Oh, you mean that these won't get points in the battle profile document?
Well, they will, but I don't think they'll change because they've told us what the points are now, but we can't use these war scrolls until the GHB because they're for the new GHB.
It's the same. When we get the new book and they have the points from half a year ago, and then 2 weeks later we get an update. Oh, here's new points.
Yeah, but that makes sense because it's like, oh, they've written those months ago because they had to publish the book and stuff. This is like, yeah, they've literally just published a thing that they could have edited. Like
some of these, they probably written months
ago.
But
they've got the opportunity to tweak them, haven't they? And like the place with the points is the article on Warhammer Community. That's where the points are, which literally they could have changed that. Like they could change it now. They could go on that article and change the points now. And like so.
Yeah, but when they wrote the rule and they said put these points on the document or on the article, they decided this probably months ago.
But anyway, I'd be very surprised if these change points, these 2 war scores. But the context of what you're thinking about them in could change because all the other heroes could change points.
Yeah.
If Admiral goes down to 100 points, like this guy's not cheap anymore. Like
definitely things that will change points within weeks of the new GHB. Like that Pontifex. Just no. Some of the Nighthaunt stuff. Like no. Needs to go up immediately. Way too good. Yeah.
So it's all cool. Overall, how do you feel about all this stuff?
Cool, new, interesting stuff for an army that already has cool shenanigans. It will not make us better in the current meta. We don't know what the new meta is, so we're speculating. I don't think it will. In the current environment, this does not help to make KO now compete at the top level.
It's better than I thought we were going to get. Like we heard rumors that it was just going to be that this was all this was going to give us was a fancy new movement tricks, but it's more than that, I think.
Sure. We'll see. We can only judge when we see the whole GHB.
Yeah.
And we played 4 weeks of games, and then we know.
Okay. So, do you think you're potentially looking at putting a Codewright in a list? And if so, would you pair him with a navigator or a different hero?
So since I'm not currently considering playing KO at all, when a new GHB drops, I'll give KO a new look.
Okay.
For this edition, I'm playing another 2 tournaments now next week's.
Yeah.
KO are not on the table.
Okay.
Since this is not relevant for them. But it's always good to have more. We wanted more Warscrolls. We get the same models, but different Warscrolls, so more options makes things more interesting. Yeah.
Yep.
I'd probably pair him with the Endron Master, as Endron Master is always my hero of choice with an Ironclad. The Codewright, it maybe instead of Horizon Stalkers, take 2 Gunhaulers and a Codewright. That's what, 390. They could take 10 Arcanauts as well. Maybe that's a good 500 points ding.
Yeah. My overall thoughts on this are, I like the fact that both of these things are signaling towards KO becoming a slightly tankier army and less about running away. I mean, there is still some like this is more about standing your ground and making it harder for them to get to you rather than you running away from them, and also like harder to kill because the -1 to wound and stuff. The gun haulers, it opens up a little bit of a play of having having some units free up save and fast and stuff, and so I think it's potentially opening up some things. I am going to make a prediction here that the bombs and boarding weapons is in the new book for all the boats as their melee things. And we sort of breezed past that, but that also does make because that's going to be a much higher significant amount of attacks on like an ironclad or a frigate. And you're not going to get things when you fly over things, and it's not mortal wounds, but it actually does mean that when a boat's in combat, it can do halfies and stuff. And then it does mean that if you're put in a position where you're brawling, you're actually maybe going to do damage back.
I prefer the bombs.
You don't want to brawl
every day.
You're still not going to want to brawl, but it's
bombs. You can just retreat the ship and deal 5 mortal wounds or something
in your turn. But when it's your opponent's turn, you're potentially still doing some damage.
Okay. You mean I have 8 attacks, 4s and 4s, of which 2 will go through with one Brent D3. So I will deal 2 damage instead of 0. That changes nothing.
I mean, if you're talking about gun haulers,
they're
for 8 attacks. I mean, on like an ironclad, I think you're going to be looking at much higher attacks on the new book. If they roll in the 8 dice from the bombs into the fact that it already gets like 8 melee attacks.
But same here. Currently, it has 4 attacks. No red 1 damage. Now it's a red and D3 damage. That's all the bombs are worth.
Yeah.
So I'd say 8 attacks, 4s and 4s, 1 red D3. If that is true, I hope not. I'd rather have bombs, more bombs. Give me more bombs.
I don't know.
Give me an hand, like double the damage from bombs.
I mean, I think, and also like the range weapons combining makes me think we're going to get that on the other boats as well. And rather than having like carbines at 12 and then a big gun, I think like the ironclad guns might be all 15 inches, one profile, all 15 inches, or all 18 inches or something.
Make
which means that KO will
simplify it even further.
I think
so. No shooting combat.
Will be able to, I don't know. We'll see. Because that's the thing about no shooting combat is annoying, but
it's very annoying.
We shall see, but I think we're seeing some hints of things to come here. And when I mentioned that to the rules writer at Warhammer World the other day, he couldn't say anything, but the style told me a lot. So we shall see. But
let's hope
not. I mean, simplified Warscrolls is always helpful in some ways. Like if they simplified Thunders,
but if they're too simple, then it's just boring.
Yeah, it's just a case of not having like a million different profiles. and then you're like, I'll roll this gun, and then I'll roll this gun, and then it's just
Well,
like, let me just roll some attacks.
On the big gun. I want, do I want the anti-monster or do I want the anti-infantry?
I mean, we do have less options than we used to on like the Ironclad. You don't get the polygun anymore as an option. So there was a question from the chat about wish listing for a new KO book. I think we might do a show on that at some point.
We'll do a whole thing.
When the book is announced and we know a date, we'll do it.
Yeah, or at very least after the GHB, because at the moment it's like there's a whole load of new stuff coming, and we don't really know what situation everything else is going to be in. So it's better to have some context there. But yeah, I mean, you say the question that I was mentioned about it being a future show, but yeah, cool stuff. I haven't been able to try out the Gunhaulers yet because I've been playing with Stockcast, and I've been playing. I had to play my most recent game was a league game where the list was locked in, so I had to use like the list that I had locked in. I'm going to try out some Gunhaulers, see how they do. I think
the new ones
and report back.
Yeah, try them out.
That's the thing. People are now testing the new without the new GHB. I don't see much value in testing out these new Warscrolls.
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, depends how much things change. It's nice to get a feel for things on the table sometimes. But we'll see. So that's the show. Let us know in the chat what you think of these in the comments. Sorry, not the chat. What you think of all the new stuff for KO? What's your favorite artifact? What's your favorite engine work? Do you like the new Warscrolls? Who do you think we would be out of Clarkson, Hammond, and May? And does that make Matt Barker the Stig? I don't know.
It totally does.
Just throw that out.
Perhaps
that.
It's time to wear a helmet now.
Gets to be Stig. Come on. No, Matt, he will just come on the next show on a motorcycle on or something. Just, I can imagine him doing that. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Thank you, Max and Krohn, for joining as always, and Krohn for coming all the way to the UK and to Germany.
Yeah.
If
do it again in 18 months.
Okay. Is this a thing that you just going to regularly be going?
Yeah, I mean, like most of my family, like all the cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, they all live over there in Germany, Austria. So yeah, I go visit, try visit every 18 months. So I'll probably back around Christmas 26.
Okay, interesting. But if you like the show, hit like, subscribe for more stuff in the future, and see you again soon, Skyfarers. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.